I've been playing with the Samsung Galaxy Zflip 6 for the past 3 months. And honestly, the reason why my review came in a bit late is because I wanted to have a long-term experience with this device. And from my experience, and somebody who has actually used the Zflip 5, is this a worthy upgrade. Samsung now has a 6th generation flip device, which is the Galaxy Zflip 6. It's coming in at around £1,049 or $1,099 depending on where you're getting it from. What I have here is the 256GB base model with 12GB of RAM and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. But let me not go into that now. Let's talk about the build and design of this bad boy. At first look, you could tell it looks quite similar to the Zflip 5, but a few touches on the design include one, the matte textured finish. Now, when it comes to the finish, which is what you obviously notice at the first time when you feel the device, they're using armor aluminum, which should help it become scratch free and less dent on the finish of the design. It also has this matte textured finish I really love. It gives it a much more premium feel when you're holding the device. There's also the outer display, which still looks quite similar to what we had on the Zflip 5, and the camera rings having this satin touch to it. This is all adding up to the premium look and feel of the design. At the bottom of the device, we have the USB Type-C charging ports, a down firing speaker, 2 microphone ports, and then a SIM tray for a single SIM support. Yes, this device comes with eSIM support as well, so you could have multiple SIMs whilst using the Galaxy Zflip 5. Of course, it obviously looks compact, but once you open it, you get a fully fledged 6.7-inch device with which you'll be getting into when it comes to the display side of things. At the outer and inner display, Samsung is protecting this glass with Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which should help sustain any damage in case it falls or hits a hard surface. But let's be honest, it's glass. Like I always say, it's always going to break under difficult or strenuous conditions. So you should bear that in mind. You should obviously get a case for it, even though I wouldn't, because I would like to flex this design out there. It really looks good and feels very premium in the hand. Samsung stated that they have reinforced the hinge here, and they weren't lying. They actually have. However, what they haven't really done much on is the crease, and I don't blame them because I don't think this is something that could easily vanish as foldables exist. Finally, the Flip has dust protection, and it comes with an IP rating of IP48 dust and water resistant. Of course, you don't want to take this to the beach because dust could still destroy it to a certain degree. But when it comes to water, you could submerge it in 5 meters of water for up to 30 minutes and you still would pick your phone up cleanly. That's solid when it comes to water resistance. However, what you don't want to do is to deliberately take this to the pool side or go into the pool and swim with it. Even though it's not going to destroy immediately, you just want to stay on the very cautious side. Before we go into the device, let's look at the outer display. And the outer display is where you can do some functions, like being able to pick up selected Google apps, like being able to follow your maps, Google Maps, being able to watch YouTube videos on here, control music, pick up calls, reply text messages, reply WhatsApp messages, and even perform certain AI functions here, with which I'll be showing you. Another interesting feature of this small display is the fact that it could serve as a viewfinder from when you're taking selfies with the rear-facing cameras. Let's talk about the 6.7-inch display of this device. And it's quite vibrant, very, very beautiful to view. Of course, it's a Samsung screen and they are going to do the best to make this display much more of an eye candy experience. What I mean is the output is sharp, crisp, and very detailed when it comes to consuming content, playing games, or doing anything that requires you to view on the display, like switching between apps, multitasking, scrolling up and down. It does the job really well, especially for the fact that it comes with a 120Hz refresh rate. You get that smooth and fluid scrolling experience with the Galaxy Zflip 6. Of course, I've been a Galaxy Zflip 5 user, so you might be hearing me say 5 a lot in this video. Software-wise, this has Galaxy AI features that stands out a lot, one of which is sketch to image. Now, when it comes to sketch to image, what happens here is you can easily sketch a drawing on an image, and Samsung, with its AI possibilities, could easily just put up a nice and additional drawing into the image, which is super realistic. You could tell that this is advanced, more improved, and does the work really well. It's literally just a complete that's drawing into the image like it was a part of it. And I find it very mind-blowing. There's also the translate option, which allows you to communicate with people who speak different languages, especially if you find yourself in a country or a location where you can't speak their language. All you have to do is to download the language pack. Hopefully, it should be in a list of languages available. Now, with the outer display serving as a nice output for the person, all you have to do is to record what you're saying in your local dialect, and it's going to quickly, in real time, translate it in real time for the person to see what you're talking about, thereby helping you understand each other and doing whatever you're deemed to do at that point in time. Samsung Snap on here is Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor for Galaxy, and this does nothing but the best for this smartphone. Basically, I just want to call this a Galaxy S24 that folds or flips. That's good, especially when it comes to heavy demanding games and also downloading apps that run with extreme performance on here. Don't get me wrong, you have 12 gigs of RAM with RAM Plus to even help you boost it up a little bit. You always have to sacrifice something like battery life for that. Unlike the Z Flip 5, which came with a 3700 mAh capacity, this comes with a 4000 mAh capacity. Now, honestly, I'm going to praise Samsung for being able to do this. However, it still needs some improvements. I feel like it's only a few minutes or close to an hour longer to use this device on a fully charged battery than previous device, which is the Z Flip 5. Man, I understand, because of course it's a flip phone and there's only a smaller area to actually put in a bigger battery. But I feel like optimization should help improve the battery life in the long term. If they're able to optimize the software, which is One UI 6.1, yes, it comes out of the box with One UI 6.1, you should be able to have a great battery experience. However, with the battery being the downside of this device, they actually put in something to replace it, and that's the support for super fast charging. With support of 25 watt wired charging, you can charge this device in less than an hour and 10 minutes from 0 to 100%. And that is really fast. So that kind of replaces the lesser battery capacity on here. This device bends in half, which allows you to use it as a tripod. So for those of you who love to use TikToks, make TikTok videos, you can just bend it this way, place it on a surface and start recording videos. You just need a surface this can rest on and you're good to go. The cameras on here include a dual camera setup, which is a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and a 50 megapixel main camera lens. The pictures are great. They're much more improved as compared to what we saw on the Z Flip 5, making it much more sharper, more detailed, very true to life, and very clear. It also has a selfie camera that takes some great shots at 12 megapixels. Both cameras, either selfie or rear cameras, record video at 4K 60 FPS with HDR support. So if you're into that, you're good to go. I must say, I might have left a few things out of this review, but if you want more about it, leave your thoughts down in the comment section and let me know if you'll be wanting to see a comparison video between the Z Flip 6 and Tecno's Phantom V Flip 2. I'm Delpy, and as always, we go talk more, Charlie.